Hi, it's Double1975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on Xbox. And today I'm bringing you some footage of my pirate ship, the Rose, in action. This is more footage from Alcor. I just have an inexhaustible supply of clips of piracy from Alcor. Because yeah, 4 weeks of piracy in Alcor will do that for you. And yeah, it was a great time up there, and I really had fun using all of my pirate ships up there at different times, depending on what mood I was in. And the Clipper Rose is one of those ships that's like the quintessential pirate ship. It's just, I think I brought you a clip recently of Polo saying that in party chat, and it is just one of those ships that it feels right to be pirating in. You know, it's a glass cannon, incredibly weak shields, fun silly weaponry, stupidly fast, a great amount of internals that you can use for whatever you need to use to make it into a pirate ship. And I've got to say, the 7A hatch breaker limpet I have on there is just so much fun because it just rips cargo out of ships so quickly. It's just hilarious. Now, no April Fool's gag from me today because I just don't do April Fool's gags on my YouTube channel. I just never bother. And for us at Big Red Rooster Rescue, it's always the anniversary of Scump's birthday, so the day has a special significance for us because Scumpy is the original Big Red Rooster. He is the ginger cockerel that's my avatar on Xbox and my icon on YouTube, and the one in my banner on YouTube. It's, you know, and the one on my outro I still use for PUBG. Yeah, Scumpy was one of my favourite ever pets. We had him for many years. He was a rescue case. He lived in the house. Was one of the most ridiculous house guests ever. Lived with us for many years, and it was very sad when he went, but his legacy will always be the rescue that's named after him, and all of the cockerels that we've saved are thanks to Scumpy. So, you know, his legacy lives on even if he doesn't. And yeah, it's always a weird time. We always celebrate the anniversary of his birthday. There are videos going back on my channel somewhere of him actually enjoying his birthday and having treats and stuff like that. Yes, Scumpy was a special bird and will always retain a special place in my heart. So I don't tend to do April Fool's gags, as much as it's tempting to do the old, you know, I'm joining IED or some such rubbish April Fool's gag. Yeah, it's not really my speed, not really my style, and like I say, it's because of other things. It's not really about that for us. And yeah, so I thought I'd bring you a fun video of some piracy and talk about a little bit about that, and move back now to the Elite Dangerous and the piracy stuff. I've got through the whys and wherefores of why I don't bother doing April Fool's stuff. I mean, if I could recommend a pirate ship to anyone, I would probably recommend the Cutter, which is the one pirate ship I don't own, because it's a giant, huge version of the Clipper. Pirate Orc uses one very well. Polo uses one very well. I used to have one. They're great for PvE piracy because they can have massive cargo space and ridiculously strong shields. They're amazing for PvP piracy. They can mass lock anyone. They're frightening and intimidating. I personally find them too frightening and intimidating, and people tend to log on them. Personally, I like my pirate ships to be fun, leery and silly, and weak. Part of the fun of piracy for me is the threat of violence, not, you know, the absolute guarantee of absolute destruction, which a Cutter pulling a Type 9 is kind of like, oh my god, whereas a Clipper pulling a Type 9 is still quite scary and intimidating. Scary enough. You know, you don't have to be in the biggest ship to pirate people, and I like taking advantage of that. I like playing with that, you know, enjoying using things like the Shieldless Cobra Mark IV, using things like the Clipper as fun, leery ships that aren't necessarily the strongest, aren't going to mass lock people, aren't the most intimidating things on earth. But, you know, it's all about the roleplay side of it for me. If you want to go for a really, really strong pirate ship that, you know, mass locks everyone, then the Cutter is the best ship. If I was going to recommend one pirate ship to everyone, I would recommend the Clipper because it's so much fun. It's just a silly, stupid, leery ship with a great interior that makes an awesome noise when it boosts. And on the bright side, even the most hardcore try-hard PvP is not going to moan at you for using all gimbaled frags on a clipper, because the hardboy placement sucks so badly and no one moans at you for using gimbaled weapons on a clipper, which makes it one of my favourite ships to use, because it's the only time I don't get stick for using gimbals. I mean, mine is ridiculously silly. I have gone for parchment of shields. I think it's about 300 something-ish shield strength for a bioweave. The bounces up and down like in light seconds, but it's terribly weak. Incredibly weak glass cannon, but mine is just a conveyance for that size 7 hatch breaker, which I've got to say is fun to use and just ridiculous when it comes to piracy. It rips cargo out so quickly. But most of the time I'm happy when people comply and roleplay it out, and we can have a bit of fun, a bit of roleplay fun doing roleplay piracy in what effectively is a dying space game. It is quite nice at the moment because there's so many people in open at the CGs and that, and you know, you're still seeing a decent amount of people, and everyone's joking about how it's a dying space game while we're all interacting and killing each other. So at least there's a sense of camaraderie amongst those of us that are still hardcore enough to be wanting to play this game, even though the developers are kind of giving up on us. It's kind of nice. It is kind of a sense that, you know, it is the end of the road in some ways, but things are just carrying on as normal. It's a bit of an odd sensation, and it's really nice when people you're pirating add you on your friends list. Well, there we go. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Happy April Fools. Don't fall for all the jokes on YouTube. It's always the way. And I'll catch you in the next video. And remember, always,
Look, they're robbing all of the commanders.